Welcome everyone to today's video. We will continue with our book. In the previous section, we discussed this category Ask, where we talked about summarization and explanation, what ChatGPT can do. In the end, we briefly talked about listing as well. And now I would like to continue with this section, create. I think this one is also very interesting, and that's the actually the real potential of ChatGPT and actually the practical usage everyone wants to or needs. Everyone wants to exploit and use. So in this category create, I have subcategories generate ideas, is it possible, basic content, how to outline something, write specific content, specific type of content, how it can create step-by-step tutorials for you, how it can create emails for you. So that's the section create. We will talk about all of that. Basically, it's about coming up with ideas, coming up with solutions to specific problems, or brainstorming, and then creating specific content, which all of us create basically every day, just like emails. It's okay. So let's start with generating some ideas. Uh, in the previous video, I also used ChatGPT to tell me the most interesting books in history. It actually gave me a list of books that are actually, well, they are pretty significant in history, that's for sure. But I found that the list wasn't too variable. It was pretty plain. Nevertheless, it was just for a demo purposes. And here in this section, which I named "Give Me 10," but not only 10, I came up with several prompts that I think can be very useful. And continuing with our examples from the first section, here in the square brackets, we have the placeholders. So each of these prompts, you can use them and then change the text, put a specific text you want instead of these placeholders. So can you generate 10 ideas for improving a specific business or product you have or service you are offering? Can you come up with a list of unconventional solutions? Come up with a new approach to solving a problem issue? Generate list of ideas so that some brainstorming for a marketing campaign promotion or product or service, alternate use cases, potential business models. Can you come up with a list of creative ways to use technology? Generate list of ideas for startup in a specific field industry. Can you come up with a list of lateral thinking solutions for a problem? So, this is all brainstorming or helping you, trying to guide you in the direction that whatever you do in whatever field, whatever area of expertise you have, uh, you can start using these prompts and start talking to ChatGPT as if it was your partner in crime, let's say. And I think that in most domains, ChatGPT will actually give you, if you ask properly, such as with these prompts, it should give you useful information, because no matter how good you are in some area, there are definitely always blank spaces which you can fill, right? Some gaps in knowledge. So I think artificial intelligence is great for that, as well as obviously studying new field as well. But of course, always be sure to verify the information, because one of the greatest downsides of these language models, not only ChatGPT but this technology in general, the technology of large language models, is that may occasionally generate incorrect information. Basically that's easy way to put that, a light way to put it, because also you might have heard a term called hallucinations, which refers to when the bot actually makes up completely false information, but it still sounds very plausible and believable. And if you actually are not an expert in that area, then it's very difficult for a person to recognize if that's a truthful statement or not. Uh, the idea is you have to understand that the ChatGPT is simply it's an artificial intelligence, and it's simply programmed to statistically knit together pieces of text, so it actually represents the text that's on the internet, and it actually, it's relevant to your query, to what you are asking. uh, but the thing is that obviously, in a sense, it always hallucinates. It always simply generates statistically what's the most likely character following the previous one in the context of all the previous ones. Um, so that's the idea. So you have to be careful with the information it gives you. Most of the time, if you ask properly, it will tell you to the best of its capabilities the most truthful statement to your question. But there is this downside that it can always be false. And if you really need to be sure the information is correct, you should always verify in second place somewhere else. Um, Nevertheless, all the information it still generates, it's very useful. I mean, first of all, obviously this is for generating all kind of content where you don't actually need the truthful statements. So for any storyteller, book writing, copywriting, which is then edited and verified and altered, all of these use cases, it's a great tool to use that. Also for developers, software developers like myself, it's great at generating the code. But then again, it's the same thing. I can recognize when it actually makes something up, or uses something that it's not current, or actually it's even really false. Because I know the downside that it sometimes it when it actually doesn't know the full answer, it still tries to give it to you, and that's when it statistically generates something that's statistically calculated properly, but actually in the real world it doesn't make sense anymore. So that's the downside. Anyway, that's why we are here, to learn the downsides of ChatGPT, and then the upsides, the advantages, and the productivity it can increase for us, and the knowledge it can give us. And it's definitely all there. So let's start with our specific prompts. When we read through these, I hope that it already gave you some ideas. What, like I said, whatever area of expertise is your area of expertise, just fill in the gaps. Whatever company you are working for, or you own business or product or service you are offering, try to have a look, try to generate something via these prompts, and maybe try to take on some path, some strategy it will come up with. Some of them might not be interesting, but I think from my experience, it always came up with definitely it always came up with several points that I haven't thought before. So it's a great tool for that. So let's try one. Let's try one. Can you come up? List of ideas for marketing, right? I think that's marketing and copywriting. That's like number one thing used. The ChatGPT is being used for. So let's try this prompt. I will just copy this one and marketing campaign promotion. Like, let's go for a marketing campaign, or you might try something else, but once again, this is our instruction, right, this part, and within the square brackets we have the context. So we want a marketing campaign for a specific product or service, so now we have to choose, so we have to just make up one. Let's pretend so specific, so let's say it's a chatbot. It's a sales chatbot, marketing campaign for sales chatbot. Well, isn't it great? Let's try it. I think certainly. I love how always the first word is sure or certainly, and there you go. List of ideas. So personalized onboarding. Highlight the chatbot's ability to provide personalized onboarding experience for new users. Showcase how it can guide customers through the sales process, answer their question, and recommend products and services tailored to their needs. Uh, uh, so interactive product demonstration, creating engaging video content, or interactive demos to showcase the chatbot's capabilities. Social media contests. Run social media contests where participants can engage with chatbot to enter and win prizes. This campaign can help generate buzz, increase brand visibility, and encourage users to interact with the chatbot. That's great. I think that's great. It's a great list of ideas for a chatbot, right? That you might use whatever chatbot you have, whatever company you have. Uh, it's already giving me great ideas. So I'm not going to spend time here doing all of these, but that's here you go. Here you have the list. Try or on your own. Write me in the comments what you came up with and how it helped you. Is it possible? How can I? So after you actually come up with the ideas, ChatGPT can also help you uh, in actually realizing those ideas. It can guide you on what is possible. It can tell you what is possible. It can guide you then on how to do it specifically, step by step, what tools or technologies, resources, services are necessary, what is possible to achieve on your own, and what not, or what resources would it require. And then again, back to our, provide ideas on how to improve something, or how to start a company doing, your idea, and then you can discuss and brainstorm with ChatGPT. So specifically, let's have a look. Is it possible to achieve specific goal outcome using specific method technology? So once again, you can just insert your own. How can I achieve something with constraint limitations? Is it possible to achieve something specific goal outcome in a specific time frame? So you can actually ask ChatGPT to actually suggest and devise a timetable for you on how to achieve something. So let's say you ask it, is it possible to build a e-commerce website on a custom code base in a month? And okay, let's try. Hopefully, it will tell me no. Or they might tell me yes, in a sense that it would need a lot of resources and human power and focused manpower. Is it possible to build e-commerce? Yes, but it largely depends on the complexity and scale of the website you want to create. Here, some scope, development team requirements, and design resources and support testing and quality insurance. So, okay. So yeah, okay, so that's the idea. That's exactly the idea what I'm trying to give you through this section. So is it possible? How can I? Well, it is possible, yeah, but it is difficult. It largely depends on the complexity and scale of the website. Well, of course, if I want an e-commerce with free products and I want really a basic template with just one payment method and no extra marketing tools and analytical tools and high requirements on the e-shop handling, then obviously it's possible, but yeah, it depends on a lot of factors which GPT is telling me. Then I might continue and discuss further on. So how could we do that? How specifically, how many people would I need? What role in what roles? How many hours would it take? So outline a basic website project. So that's the way we can try and handle, for example, such a thing. Um, so once again, feel free to ask for anything you want to achieve, any goal or outcome uh, you might want to arrive at. Um Here you can really find out what you need, how is it possible, and in what time frame is it theoretically possible for you. Okay, and now we can continue with actually creating some content. So after we generated some ideas and came up with specific solutions or paths on how to achieve them, um, we can start creating some content. That's where ChatGPT once again is excellent. It can actually create all kind of different content. Um, uh, I try to showcase that a little bit in these placeholders. So once again, this is the instruction. Can you help me outline? Can you help me organize my thoughts? Can you help me structure my ideas? Create a comprehensive outline. I think it's a good way always to start with an outline for something, and then you can create based on that outline. So that's the instruction, and then the context and the specific type of content it can actually create. So we can ask for an essay, a book, a presentation, a research paper, business plan, blog post, speech, webinar, novel, screenplay, poem. It can rhyme. A thesis, project proposal, what other personal statement, biography, screenplay, website content, product description, uh, webinar. That's we already had that one. News article, review, press release, email, letter, script, memo, cookbook, travel guide, how-to guide, song, lyrics, poem. So that's and that's not all, but whatever you ask for, there is a pretty good chance ChatGPT will give it to you. So I think already within these placeholders, you can see a lot of real lot of different types of content that you can use, and you can use ChatGPT to generate it for you. So once again, you can choose what type of content you want and on what topic you want, and it will create it for you. Okay, so actually, let's go with the blog post because I think that one is the most popular one and the easiest one as well and the most straightforward. So let's go with as an example with the blog post, and we come up with a topic. So I will ask ChatGPT to give me outline. Okay. Let's do it another way, using our knowledge from previous sections. Give me 10 titles for blog post about, and now we have to come up with a theme. So let's go with AI chatbots. 10 titles for a blog post about AI chatbots. So now we are using ChatGPT to brainstorm the ideas, unleashing the power of AI chatbots. How AI chatbots are transforming customer support and service, the future of conversational AI, exploring. So these are pretty good, but they might sound kind of generic. I think on the internet there is already a lot of articles that actually have these titles, but nevertheless, for the demo purposes, I would like to showcase this. Now, if you want more interesting titles, then you just need to specify more instructions and context in the prompt, and ChatGPT will use that and generate it for you. We can do that in another video. Here, I would like to just showcase simply, demo purposes, how to mm, brainstorm, so generate something, and now we can use that to generate our outline. That's where what am I getting at. So now we tell GPT outline, blog post, uh, titled. Now we are doing the outline, right? Titled, and we choose one. uh, Future of Conversational AI, Exploring Potential of Chatbots, title, and we give it quotation marks, so we know it knows this is the specific title for the blog post, and we want an outline. So let's try that. Sure, here's an outline. Introduction, briefly introduce, highlight increasing adoption of chatbots, discuss early days, Explore advancements. Current applications of chatbots enhance user experience. Advancements in NLP and machine learning. That's natural language processing. Role of AI in chatbot development. Future trends and potential ethical consideration and challenges. Conclusion. So now you have an outline, and once again you have an idea for an outline. I don't recommend actually using it straight away just like that. I will do that now just for the demo purposes. Once again, you should take that, expand on it, adjust it, tailor it to your specific needs. Do some further research, ask further questions on specific sections, and come up with your own, combine it, create your own outline, and then copy the outline back to the chatbot and say, start writing the blog post based on this outline. And now since I will input just this prompt. The bot will know I'm referring to the outline it just produced. But what you could do with your old outline or your own outline is simply put it inside the quotation marks, and it will take the context as this specific outline you just generated and altered and copied here from somewhere else. So start writing the blog post based on this outline, and sure, and there you go. And it starts writing the content based on the outline generated. And it even generated the title of the blog post. It gave the ideas for the blog post. So here you have the full process of actually generating the content. One specific type of content, which is the blog post, and you already saw in those placeholders in the book that there are many different types of content. So that's it. Um, Here, we didn't have this in early days, in a few months ago, but now we have this beautiful button, continue generating, so it will actually pick where it left and nicely finish the text. So now we are done, and we have our article. So that's the basic usage, the basic workflow. Obviously, like I said, you always want to adjust it along the way. You want your own human input to actually make it more interesting, more soulful, let's say. To really something put from yourself in it. But then let ChatGPT help you generate based on your ideas the actual content. And then once again, once it generates the content, go through it, read it, and edit it in some way that actually more is more in alignment with your views and needs. There are other methods which we will also discuss in the future. You can try just giving ChatGPT a part of your own text, and then give it another instruction to continue to generate another article in a style of that text. But we will explore all of that in the future. Don't worry. So that's creating, outlining, and then writing. And like I said, we have all kinds of different content you can choose. So you can try all of those things, be it for personal use, be it for work, in any kind of field you work. So this is really great. Besides just generating content, another specific type of content is guides. I mean, we saw it can generate how to guide and travel guide. So you give it the instruction, give me a how to guide on, and you choose whatever you want to learn, or accomplish. Um, then we have the step by step, which is a little bit different, and I think that's really great. It then gives you a really detailed list of the steps necessary to achieve some task or whatever in the specific task, process, goal, outcome, activity, overcome problem, issue, fix, repair, troubleshoot, right? You can use all these kind of words, whatever suits you the most. And maybe sometimes experiment a little bit, whatever gives you the best result, like, create, build, assemble. Sometimes it might not make a difference. Sometimes it might make a bigger difference in what output it generates. So, choose your words, choose your style, and then sometimes experiment when it's necessary, whether you need to change some noun or adjective or a word, a little bit. Um, so yeah, so that's step by step. I think we should also try one. Okay, so can you guide me through the steps of specific process method? Can you guide me? Let's ask ChatGPT. Can you guide me through the specific steps of creating OpenAI chatbot? Certainly. Here's a general guide to help you get started with creating an OpenAI chatbot. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Test and iterate. 10. Deploy and monitor. Uh, in the end, it's worth noting that the process may vary depending on the specific model and API version you are using. Be sure to refer to official OpenAI documentation and resources for detailed instruction. Sure, great. Uh, General guide. This is obviously a high level overview. Familiarize yourself with OpenAI's offerings such as GPT 3.5. Set up OpenAI account, obtain API credentials, choose development environment, set up environment, understand documentation, implement in API integration. Yep, yep. So those are the steps you need to make to create OpenAI chatbot. Then you could go on and ask for a detailed explanation of each step. Please explain in detail step one. Oh, I will just copy this. So we both know what we are talking about. Please explain in detail step one. Understand open AI services. Here we go. Certainly. Yeah, so it will tell us something about the services it offers, board models, use cases, limitations, pricing, usage, OpenAI documentation resources. So, obviously, when you are developing something, you really need to work with the documentation. So, in this case, we should go online and search, if you don't know the website, through Google or any other search engine you might be using for this information for OpenAI documentation and API reference and these kind of things. Should you be interested in that? We're not going to do that now, maybe sometimes later on, but this is just once again for the demo purposes. So you can see we can go in detail. Then once again, like I said, we should now search for the documentation and start searching on there. And once you start learning through the documentation, which now the bot is also recommending to you, as well as am I, you will have more questions, right? And then you will go back here to ChatGPT and ask a specific question about specific thing you read in the documentation. How to approach that? How is it solved in the real world? Give me give me a JavaScript or a Python code on how to do that. So all these specific things, once you know what to ask for, that's the most important thing. Um, so this is our step by step. Now we can move on to emails, which is pretty simple and straightforward. There are only then many prompts because once again I uh, try to offer as many possibilities, as many options as possible, straight away. Here, besides illustrating what type of content, which is just an email, here I try to illustrate how you can actually manipulate the style of the content you choose. So and it applies the same for the previous one we saw, be it blog post or any other content type. You can use adjectives and say an instruction to give it a certain tone or style. So be it professional. How can I compose an effective email? Help me assist a follow-up email to somebody regarding something, and then you can actually insert even the previous email so it can read and understand the context in full, and then generate really the answer you are looking for, or really get close to it as much as possible. How can I write polite email declining? I think that's an interesting thing because many people might have issues in really declining some offers or invites, and this is once again a possibility to do. Um can you help me write a thank you email? Can I compose email to somebody in a certain role? I think that's also another perspective, how to look at things. What you can ask from ChatGPT, providing feedback, instructions, updates. Ask for a specific thing, not just reply to an email, right? Not just sales email, but I mean, you can see once again all types of content, how to ask for it, and actually who you are asking, or specify in a context who you are communicating with or talking to. And once again, ChatGPT will adjust the tone and the style of the content and the message to appropriate level. Professional apology email. I'm sure most of us have to write one once from time. Can you help me write an email to customer client addressing complaint, concern, feedback? I think this one is very good, right? For everyone working in customer support, I also worked in customer support once. Not really heavy hardcore one, but I mean, I was on customer support, and I know how difficult it can be, um, how challenging, and have some tool like ChatGPT back then to actually have it generate the replies to many of the emails. I had to manually write. I mean, that would be a great layoff, and actually, you know, made my day much easier. I know that for sure. So, shout out to everyone who is in customer support. If you are watching, I hope you are using that, or your company is using that, or you are making plans on implementing this tool into your company. Uh, how can I compose email to specific person groups, scheduling meeting call appointment? Okay, so these are just the specifics. I don't think we have to try these. You can just try those for yourself. Once again, leave your tests in the comments, or whatever questions you might have. Uh, I hope it gave you some ideas. I hope it you can already see that it can really help you in real life to make you something a little bit easier or automate something and simply save you time, so you can spend it on something that is more important. Okay, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next section where we will talk about changing the content.